Welcome to The Coop with Kit. My name is Kit Hoover, and I have been lucky enough in my 30 years in this business to interview some of the most iconic, badass women out there. We all know that girlfriends give the best advice, and they're all coming to The Coop. We're talking career, marriage, kids, sex, aging, all of it. I truly believe we are just hitting our stride. All right, my chickens, let's get into it. I am thrilled to have the incredibly talented Cheryl Hines in the coop today. Known for her iconic role on Curb Your Enthusiasm, she has built a tremendous name for herself. Today, we're diving deep into her 3 marriages, one hilarious, fictitious one with Larry David, and 2 real ones, navigating the political spotlight with her husband, Bobby Kennedy Jr., and how she's thinking about her next move. With Curb wrapped, her daughter off to college, and her husband, Bobby, running for president, Cheryl's got a lot on her plate and even more on her mind. This lady is a doer, the friend everyone needs. She's endlessly talented and simply hilarious. All right, my chickens, here is Cheryl Hines. Hi, Cheryl.
Hi, Kit. Happy to see you.
I'm so happy to see you.
Can't really say that I've got my shit together, but you know what? It's together enough, I guess.
First of all, I feel the same way. I haven't gone in the studio, right, where we have our team that fluff us. I don't have my fluffers, Cheryl. So, put that filter on. I got this new ring light. I'm like, let's roll.
I know.
Are you a morning person?
No.
No.
I would like to be. I mean, I do like the mornings, but not to be productive.
I was actually thinking, I just had one of your besties on, Rachel Harris, and she was raving about you, which makes me think that you got up early for me on the coop. And the way Rachel was talking about you, I think you're the greatest girlfriend. How would your girlfriends describe you?
Well, I like to think that I'm a loyal.
Yeah.
I'm a ride or die. Like if you call me, you need me, I'm there and I'll do it in 2 seconds. I don't care what it is. But I'm also brutally honest.
That's the best quality.
Sometimes the truth is hard to hear.
I think we need more people in our life like that.
Yeah.
But you and I are from the South, right? You grew up in Florida. Are you not a little bless her heart, you know?
Oh, bless her heart. I think I'm not. I'm not that warm and fuzzy. Like, I'm not going to say something where you're going to drive home and go, I wonder what that meant.
I really appreciate that and value that. And not only my women friends, but just people. Larry is the ultimate, Larry David, person like that. Like, he tells you exactly what he's feeling, where he is at every moment, maybe to a fault.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I love about Larry is that he is going to tell you exactly what it is, what he thinks. And some people get angry or they take it personally, or they think he's mad at them or whatever that is, but he's not. He just does not want to have lunch with you.
Or say goodbye when he leaves. Yeah, it's done.
You're not going to get a goodbye. You might not get a hello.
Well, I love everything you've got cooking in your life, Cheryl. We've been friends for the past 15 years. One word to describe where you are in your life right now.
Oh, man. One word to describe my life. A renaissance?
Oh, tell me more.
Well, it's interesting because, as a mom, you spend so many years just working so hard to get your little babies grown, and you want to make sure they have the right tools in life they need. You need to make sure they're going to be okay when they're in that apartment by themselves the first night, or they're going to get through their first heartbreak. You want to just make sure that they're going to be ready for the world. And then when they grow up, suddenly they grow up and you're not making breakfast for them anymore. And
oh yeah,
you start to feel like, oh, okay. So what does this look like? And then it's also happening at the same time that Curb Your Enthusiasm ended. I mean, Curb Your Enthusiasm was on for, the first time we did an episode was 1999.
Wow.
Crazy.
Wow. I'm not good at math. Is that like 25 years?
It's something like that. That's 25 years. And, I did a lot of other stuff in between, but that was always my number one. So that ended. And now, I'll see what's next. Also, as you may or may not know, my husband is running for president, Robert Kennedy Jr.
Oh, that little thing. Yeah.
That little thing. So that's sort of a beginning in a way that I could not have anticipated, had no idea, but it's interesting. I didn't see this part of my life coming, but some things are, winding down, changing, but there's a rebirth happening, right? So now I'm a mom and the kids are grown and I'm an actress, but Curb is over and my husband's running for president.
And you might be first lady. This is exactly what this podcast, The Coop, is about, is sort of like the back nine, the next chapter.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that we've never felt this vibrant before in our life with a lot of changes going on. What have you learned about yourself during Bobby's candidacy?
I've learned a lot. I've learned to look at things on a micro level and a macro level. So on a micro level, every day I wake up and I think about my relationship with Bobby, my relationship with my kids, my relationship with my family. And is that all intact? Are we all helping each other, supporting each other, loving each other? And then I look at the macro, right? So then I look at the bigger picture. The bigger picture is career. I started this company, Hines and Young.
Yep.
And also learning to be able to let a lot of things flow through me. So if I see that terrible headline first thing in the morning and it feels like, oh my gosh, this is bad, this is hard, I take a minute and I remind myself that this is a news cycle.
Mm-hmm. A role you did not prepare for. Yep.
No. The world isn't thinking about it as much as I'm thinking about it. I have to remind myself of that a lot, It would be nice to say, oh, just ignore it altogether. But in reality, that's probably not going to happen with me. I need to go ahead and look at it, go ahead and read it, and then let it go, get back into my little micro world. Is my inner world okay? Yes.
With the things that really matter.
That really matter. And then I can get back out to what's happening out in the world. So I'm learning how to balance that. I'm learning how to, as they always say, accept the things you can't change.
No, but that's a big one. It's one thing to say it. It's one thing to feel it, especially on the scale that you're dealing with things.
Yeah. I can't change people.
Yeah.
If somebody wants to say something that's completely not true and say it on the news or put it in the paper, I can't control that.
That would be hard.
I will spend all of my time and energy that I need in my inner world.
Yep.
If I spend it all out there trying to, control, oh my gosh, this person posted that newscaster said that. That's not true.
Exhausting.
You would be exhausted and you wouldn't have anything left for what, like you're saying, for what really, really matters.
Do you have a safe word when it comes to politics with Bobby? Most people have in sex, they have a safe word. Do you have a safe word like, lasagna?
Lasagna. It's funny because I felt like I did establish a safe word at the beginning of this, but I couldn't tell you what it is. But I do need to get back to it because I do love that idea. And hey, it said, if anybody in the family says this word, but I'm going to have to go back and look at my text because I think I texted it to everybody. Or
Please.
I guess, listen, if I can't remember what it is, I guess we could just start a new one.
Just go with lasagna. I don't know why.
Lasagna. And then people be like, when? When is it ready?
Well, I was thinking about your life, which is so incredible. And let's talk about the 3 husbands in your
Mm.
life. And let's start with your fictitious one. What did you learn about yourself through your fictitious husband, Larry?
He's a good, funny person who's also serious and smart. And I learned that you can be all of those things at once. I started at the Groundlings Theater here with improv and sketch comedy, and they're really smart, talented people there.
Oh, yeah.
And we had fun, and everybody's doing comedy bits all the time, and nobody wants to let somebody else get the last word. They've got something funnier to say, and it's a lot of fun. And with Larry, Larry has a lot of quiet moments.
Yeah.
He's not doing comedy bits all the time. It was really good to learn you can do both at the same time. So I loved there's sort of a stillness in his comedy sometimes. I mean, sometimes it's broad and crazy. But that's one of the things that I learned about him.
Your real husband, your first
Yeah.
real husband, Paul Young. And I love that you guys still have such a great relationship. What did you learn about yourself through that one?
Paul is still a really good friend of mine, and he was so encouraging to me. So I was married to Paul at the very, very beginning of Curb.
Yeah.
And he's in the business and he produces things and projects, I should say. And we would talk about projects and he would say, you should produce that. You should direct this. And I wouldn't have seen that in myself. I wouldn't have thought that I could do it. So he was always the person that could see something in me that I couldn't see in myself. And I really appreciate that about him.
I feel like you navigated that divorce really well. You've got your beautiful daughter that I just love. Is there a key to doing that right, Cheryl? Because it seems like if there is one, that you did it very well.
Well, listen, there's no right or wrong, but I think what really helped us was we could see that it wasn't working. And that was very painful and difficult. But I think because when we saw it, we really talked to each other. And it wasn't easy. And I'm not saying everything was smooth, of course,
No.
but we didn't let it get to a place where we just couldn't stand each other. I'm going to say things to hurt you because I'm in pain. So I want you to be in pain. We never went to that place and we never said horrible things to each other because I think sometimes it's really hard to come back from
Yeah.
words that somebody has
Oh, yeah. They have
said
meaning.
to you.
They pack a punch.
Yeah, they pack a punch and we didn't do that. But even we were, at some point where we're still wearing our wedding rings, even though we had both agreed we should divorce, but neither one of us wanted to take it off
Oh, that's sweet.
because we didn't want to hurt the other person's feelings. And, once you take it off, then your friends and everybody can see, oh, what's happening? Because, it's a long process.
Oh, yeah.
It's like first you say it and then there's a whole legal.
How long did it take you from when you guys decided it to when it was official?
Probably about 9 months.
Wow. So how old were you when that happened? And were you scared because you guys were together so long and knew each other and had a beautiful relationship? Were you scared to get back out there?
I don't know if scared was a word, but I was definitely, it's surprising because suddenly how old was I? I don't know. I was in my 40s and I'm like, what is happening? Somebody's asking me on a date and this is weird. And oh my gosh, now I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to wear on a date with somebody I barely know. It's very strange. But what I was going to say, Kit, is when we were, going through the divorce, we both looked at each other and we said, I didn't want to take off my ring because I didn't want you to feel badly that you saw me without my ring. So we both took them off together.
At the same time.
At the same time.
That's so beautiful.
It was really beautiful. And we both said, out of everyone in the world, I'm glad that you're my ex-husband. And he said, I'm glad you're my ex-wife.
you consciously uncoupled. You did the Gwyneth
Yeah.
Paltrow thing before it was a thing. They're
Yeah.
really, I wish more relationships, when they expire for whatever reason, you could see it as a beautiful
Yeah.
moment, right? As opposed to
Right.
something. And clearly that worked out great for you guys. All right. Enter Bobby. I know Larry introduced y'all. Tell me the story.
Larry and I went to a Waterkeeper ski fundraiser.
And you don't ski, or you didn't ski at the time.
I skied, but not well. I'm not a good skier. I'm from Florida. Come on. So Larry and I were just going to go, just show up, support Waterkeeper, and then leave. And when we got there, Bobby was hosting it. It was in the middle of the day and everybody was skiing. And Bobby says, sit down, sit down. What's your shoe size? And then all of a sudden, Larry and I are in skis. We've got a jacket on. We're all going up to the ski lift. And I think it was me and Larry and Bobby and Ed Begley Jr. We all got on a ski lift together. And I was thinking, I don't know what is happening. Why am I skiing? And how am I going to get off the ski lift once we get there? And this was so long ago, like people didn't even wear helmets. I didn't even have like a knit cap on.
Not even a beanie.
And Bobby said, you need a hat. And I said, well, this is going to have to be it. And he took off his beanie and gave it to me. And I said, well, now what are you going to wear? He said, I'll be okay. Don't worry about me. And I believed him. So I said, okay. And I look over and, of course, Larry David's wearing his beanie. And he's like, no, if you're thinking that I'm going to take mine off, then that's wrong.
Was there sparks immediately? Like, were you even thinking that, oh my gosh, I could see this relationship? Or where was your head at the time?
No, there weren't sparks immediately. I just thought that gesture was very kind. And I thought, wow, I don't meet a lot of people like this, but really nice to meet you, And after that, we remained, I don't even want to say friends because acquaintances, because I never saw him. I mean, we lived across the country and he had his own life going. I had my own life going. And I would see him about once a year because I would go to a Waterkeeper event and he would speak at the event. And he's such a beautiful speaker and so inspiring and so smart. So that, went on for years. He was just an acquaintance. And then
what shifted? When was the shift?
Well, the shift happened when I was going through my divorce with Paul. And like I said, it takes a while, right? Because by the time you actually announce that you're getting divorced, there's a lot of separating that's already started happening.
Yes.
And then legally, I think in California anyway, you file and then there's a 6 months waiting period before it becomes final. And I had read in the paper that Bobby was also going through a divorce. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. When I see him at this,
we have something to talk about that's really bonding because it's not for the faint of heart.
No, and nobody wants to hear about it.
Yes.
Unless they're going through it, then it's very interesting. If they're not going through a divorce, it's not interesting. And it's a real, downer.
Is Bobby romantic? I feel like he would be really romantic with you. Very thoughtful.
Well, it depends on what your idea of romance is. I mean, he is very thoughtful. He's not one on physical gifts. But I do remember one time when I was in New York with him, he sent me a message to meet him at this certain dock on the Hudson River and, be there at 3:30 or whatever. I was like, all right, James Bond, I will. And so I show up and he has a boat, like a little power boat. Well, first we had to get in a little dinghy, which is not romantic at all.
If you're getting a dinghy to go to a bigger boat, I think that's a winning combination right there.
But you know how these dinghies are. They don't smell great and they're wet. And I'm like, okay, I don't even know what I'm getting into. But we go to the dinghy, we get on a little power boat, and he gives me a ride by the Statue of Liberty. The night is falling, and it was just so beautiful.
And you guys have done such a good job, Cheryl, with blended families. I think I read that you said your family is somewhere between me meets Modern Family. I love
Yeah.
sort of that collaboration.
Yeah.
Any words of wisdom on how to do that sort of seamlessly? I feel like that's something a lot of our listeners can take away from. What can you share?
I think the best advice I could give anyone, once again, Kit, it kind of comes back to letting it all flow through you.
Yes.
So there might be times when your stepkids are upset. They might be upset about something big or something little. Try not to take it personally. Don't hold on to it. Let it flow through you
Yep.
and then let it go. And your own kids, like, so you have these people that are going through really difficult times.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes you get distracted because you feel like, oh, well, but how do they feel about me? And it's like, you know what? They don't need to articulate how they feel about you right now.
Totally. I was lucky enough to meet your daughter, Kat, and I just want to share with our listeners how great it was to see the two of you together. I always measure my success by how my three children are doing, and
Yeah.
you have raised a wonderful, wonderful, independent, smart, gorgeous daughter. Did you always want to be a mom?
You know, for a long time, I thought I did want to be a mom. And then, if I'm being perfectly honest, when I moved out to LA and my acting career was going nowhere, I didn't even have an agent. And when I was 30, I didn't have a career. I was living in a one-bedroom, rent-controlled apartment in LA. And I thought, oh boy, I think I need to make a choice here. Do I let my life veer off in a different direction, or do I hunker down in this one-bedroom apartment and just say, I'm not going to burden other people with my fight to try to make it in this business? So, because I thought, I can't even take care of a cat. You know what I mean? I don't have enough money for anything. So the thought of kids just felt like, oh, maybe someday. And it was never that cut and dry to me, where it's like, oh, by 35, I have to have two kids.
I want to get into your career path because I think it's just extraordinary and very inspiring. Did you always kind of know it would end up like this? Because I think you have to have a certain belief in yourself. You're like, you know what? I've made it from Florida. I'm out here. I'm at Groundlings. I love what I'm doing. Was there a feeling inside of you, or was it just blind faith?
I felt like this is definitely what I was born to do.
Yep.
And also, there was a time, like I said, when I was 30 and I'm not really getting anywhere, but I wrote a play. I would, be in student films, and I did theater. And to me, I found joy and happiness from that.
Yes.
So I really made a choice to find the happiness in the accomplishments that I was able to do, the things that I could control.
You were more focused on your craft and doing what you love.
Yeah.
So regardless of what happened, but Curb hit. Oh my God, I tell you the funniest thing. We just had Ted Danson on the show, Cheryl, and he was so
Yeah.
funny. He said, oh my gosh, Kit, Larry called us in, Mary C. Burgeon and me, and said, hey, look at this pilot that I just shot. We want you guys on it. And Ted's like, we looked around, we're like, this thing's awful. We didn't get it. We didn't know what it was. So take me in, you land the role, and what was going through your mind, because the concept is so unique.
There's no script. It was all improvised. So I never read a script. I had no idea what this show was. I mean, it started out as a 1 hour special where Larry decided to go back and do stand up to do a 1 hour special on HBO. And then the punchline was he never actually did his 1 hour stand up, but that was the sort of mockumentary. When I saw the first episode, I remember even the first day of shooting the first episode, I was driving home thinking, oh, I'm not sure how this is a show because it didn't look like any other sitcom I'd seen,
When you show up, okay, and what happens? Does Larry say, here's the scenario, like, I'm going to come in the house and this, like, how is it laid out for you?
Sometimes he would say, You don't really need to know anything. And then we'd start rolling. And then he's, eating an apple. I remember our first scene that we shot. He was eating an apple in the kitchen. And he was telling me about his pants tent, how his pants kind of bunch up, and one of his friends thought he
Got excited.
got excited. And then he says, this apple is mealy. I said, well, throw it away and get a different apple. He's like, yeah, but so mealy. It's like, yeah, don't worry about it. Just get a different apple. And so that's why I said I would drive home and go, what is this? What just happened? Is this show about mealy apples?
How would you prepare then for work that day? Like, would you just sort of center yourself back to, we're talking about let things go and just be like, okay, I'm just going to show up. And it's clearly one of your great gifts with improv and sketch comedy, but would you just show up and sort of take a deep breath and be like, here we go?
Yes, because it was all about listening, because it was improvised. The only thing you could do is listen and respond to what someone just said to you. So I would take a moment to think about what is Cheryl David's point of view.
Yes.
Because I was improvising from Cheryl David's point of view, and also understanding what the show is. So the show is that the more you can call out what makes Larry a jerk, the better, because then he can defend himself on why he did it. And then that's what's funny is like, it was just a name tag. Just put it on your jacket. Everyone else is doing it. Well, it's a suede jacket. I'm just going to ruin my jacket. Stop. No, nobody cares about your jacket. I care about my jacket. And that's, the whole day.
Did you ever go too far with anything where he was like, Cheryl, we're not going there? And now a word from our sponsors. Lola Sport, the very pant. It's the very pant I wore to yoga. It's the very pant I wore to the golf course. It's the very pant I wore to lunch and then to get the kids. If you're sick of wearing jeans and sick of wearing yoga pants, ladies, this is the perfect hybrid. Lola Sport's The Very Pant is a super stretchy, lightweight, 4-pocket ankle pant offered in tons of colors. It's Lola Sport's bestseller, and for good reason. Once you have one color, you're going to want all the colors, and they make your butt look good. For our listeners, you can get 20% off full-priced merchandise with the code COOP20 at checkout at lolasport.com. So people ask me all the time what I'm doing to stay fit, healthy, and vibrant, and Bub's Natural Collagen has literally changed my life. Recently, I started hearing about collagen. So I started taking Bub's Fountain of Youth every morning. I'm not kidding, y'all. It has made my hair, my skin, and my body feel amazing. But did you know that not all collagen is the same? Bub's is the creme de la creme of collagens. It's the purest collagen out there, 100% natural with a mega dose of vitamin C. And it not only helps with anti-aging, but also helps with better performance. And I'm serious when I say I can feel it. Bub's motto is living better longer, and it could not be more true with their amazing products. Please give Bub's a try. You will not regret it. Go to bubsnaturals.com, use COOP20 to get started with living better longer. Hey everyone, I'm a jeans girl, and if you're like me, you need to know about Blue Delta jeans. Blue Deltas are custom fit for your body type. You send in your measurements and they custom fit them to you. I've truly never had jeans that fit me this perfectly, and honestly, it's been a game changer. Their easy measurement process to get your custom fit and their unique hand-sewn jeans are the best you can get. You will not believe how great they feel. And with white jeans season upon us, Blue Delta jeans should be your go-to. I'm completely obsessed with their incredible custom white vintage jeans that come in straight and flare styles. Trust me, you will live in them. Go to bluedeltajeans.com and enter the code COOP20 for 20% off your new perfect jeans. And now back to the coop. Did you ever go too far with anything where he was like, Cheryl, we're not going there?
Well, there was only one time that I remember in a scene where Larry was like, and it was Bob Einstein, who played Marty Funkhauser. Of course, we were improvising a scene, and it was me and Bob and Larry. And Bob was so crazy. And he would say, yeah, Cheryl and I just got back from our trip together. And Larry's like, what? Bob said, yeah, Cheryl and we went on a trip and things are really taking off. Larry's like, Bob, what are you doing? This can't be part of a storyline. You're like trying to change the whole trajectory of Curb right now.
Bob, reel it in. But cue Ted Danson. The funniest part is when you took up with Ted, I feel like fans got so confused. And honestly, a lot of people think you're really married, since your real name's Cheryl, to Larry David. And then cue Ted Danson. Did that get funny for you guys? Because I know y'all are all friends.
Well, I think by the time Ted and I got together on Curb, people were understanding more that this
crazy universe.
But it is confusing because it really is Ted Danson and it really is Larry David. And if I had gotten married to Larry David in real life, my name would be Cheryl David. So it is a little confusing at times. Yeah.
I saw the end of Curb. The little speech you gave was so wonderful and heartfelt. And Larry, he did not know how to handle it, Cheryl. He literally, the way he turned and I love the way he walks off.
First of all, we didn't even know anybody. We had no idea somebody was filming this.
Oh, it was beautiful.
But yeah, it was the very last moment of Curb. Everybody's just sitting there. We were on a sound stage in a plane. And yeah, they yell cut and people sort of get up and Larry just gets up and starts beelining out off the set. And then Richard said something and then I said something and it was really sweet to see Larry because he didn't want to speak. He didn't even want to make eye contact with anybody.
He would barely look at you. It was so sweet. I thought he was getting emotional just saying, I love you. And like, the whole show, you would have been successful anyway, but really changed your course of where you were going. By the way, is that a picture of him behind you with the pipe? I love that picture behind you, Cheryl.
Yes.
What did he write on this picture?
Well, when I got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, I asked Larry if he would sign a picture to me. And so this is the picture.
For our listeners, it's Larry with a really bad stash. This is great in a turtleneck. And what did he write to you?
He wrote sarcastically, to Cheryl, congrats on your well-deserved star on the Walk of Fame. What an honor, Larry.
Mocking the whole thing.
Yes, and it's a picture of him in a turtleneck, which I've never seen him wear in life, with a pipe and a penciled on mustache.
So Cheryl, how are you when you work and then when you don't work? Because for me, that's been a struggle throughout the years. Like I like a routine and going somewhere. I know Curb took that big hiatus. So how are you when that happens?
Yeah, I need to work.
Same.
It actually drives my daughter a little crazy. I'm finding out. Because she says, she's always like, you are so busy.
Yeah.
And I said, well, there's a lot to do.
Yep.
I'm not good at just hanging out. I can for a few days, but like I said, I started this company with my daughter, Kat. It's called Hines and Young.
I've got it right here.
Aha. And so, we do candles and beautiful body creams.
Lotions. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that keeps me very busy. And then as far as my career goes, it's interesting because we'll see what's next. I'm talking to a few very important people.
Oh, can we share anything?
We can't share anything now, but I will say this too. I mean, I'm saying this to you, Kit. I'm acting like it's just you and me talking and nobody can hear us.
Totally.
But I've been taking a lot of notes during this campaign experience.
Oh, I like where this is going, Cheryl.
So
Oh,
I've been taking a lot of notes like I said, it's a fascinating experience because not only the politics of it all, like, oh, I'm from in the inside looking out, I'm in the hurricane eye, but also he's been running for a year.
yeah.
And a lot of things happen in your life in a year.
Oh, yeah.
And people
Hmm.
people go through a lot in a year. And
I think this show writes itself, Cheryl. What's the craziest thing that's happened to you on the campaign trail that you
let's
can
see, I'm
share?
trying to think. It does all of it feels like a Veep episode, like I said.
Totally.
I think there's something very, very funny about security detail always with you.
It's weird.
And we call my mom Cracklin' Rosie. Her name is Rosemary. And we were at an event and one of the security texted, "What should I do with Cracklin?"
Cue crackling.
That'd be the safe word.
Yeah, that could be the safe word too. My producer's
that could
saying.
be the safe word.
That's
Cracklin'.
good. Good one, Harper. By the way, we got to come up with your Secret Service name. At work, they always said mine would be Little Beast, like Little Beast is on the move.
Oh,
And I was like,
I like that.
do we? Do we?
Well, mine is number 2 at this point,
That's great.
which I think I remember Michelle Obama saying, but because it's always like, number 2 is on the move. It's like, okay, can it be something better? Can't you say the Queen or something?
Queen. Oh,
And they're like, yes, we can say whatever you'd like, but I don't think it's going to stick.
oh, that's good. Cheryl, when I'm thinking about your work ethic, it made me reflect on the little bit that I know about your childhood, which is not a lot. But is that where all of this came from? I want to hear a little bit about how you grew up. I know you paid for yourself to go to college.
Yeah, I think it did come from that, came from my mom, especially.
Cracklin' Rosie?
Cracklin' Rosie, she was always, she had 4 kids and she was working full time and, making dinner and doing the laundry. I don't know how she did it. She really taught me that if you want something, you better get it yourself.
Work for it. Yeah.
You better earn it yourself. And you can do that and still be kind to people and think about other people. My first job, I think I got when I was 15, and I never stopped working since. So I learned that if you take a job, it's a big responsibility. And even if you're just washing dishes, which I've also done,
Same.
it's important to someone. I've done it all. I've waitressed and bartended, and I was an operator on a 900 chat line back in the 80s.
What were we answering? What kind of calls?
I don't know if you remember these days, but there was a day when you could pay 99 cents a minute and go on like a party chat line and talk to.
Was it sexual?
Well, not ours, although people liked to try to get to a sexual place. And it was my job to cut them off if they did start having phone sex.
Did
But
you
we
use
sure
a
had a
different
good time.
voice?
Yeah.
Like, did you go more Southern? Did you lower your voice? Did you have a funny party voice?
No, my name was Cookie. Everybody, all the monitors had their own names. There was Squiggy and Destiny and everybody, even the callers had their own names. Hey, this is Mercedes. Can I talk to Eminem?
God, hey,
And
Cookie.
Eminem was like, hey, it's Eminem from Detroit. Can we talk on a private line? And then I would say, I can put you guys on a private line, but you cannot have phone sex.
Oh my gosh, this is hysterical.
And that was like an overnight shift because I was going to school. I could do that some nights, and then I could also bartend, and I had a good time.
What does Cracklin' Rosie, your cute mom, and your siblings think about where you are right now, Cheryl? I'm not even talking about just with the campaign trail, just in life that you've carved out this unbelievable career and niche and friends for yourself.
We have moments where we'll be doing something. We'll all be going to a Golden Globes party, and my brother, who only wears shorts.
I love him already.
You would love him. He's fantastic. I'll make him wear a suit, and we'll be dressed up, and we'll be looking around the room and there are stars and celebrities and everybody's dressed up and drinking fancy drinks and saying fancy things. And we'll look at each other and go, okay, look at you. That's getting a star on the Walk of Fame. Yeah, my 3 husbands were there, Larry, Paul, and Bobby, and they all sat right next to each other, which was interesting. My family, everybody was there. We have these moments that are just, whoa, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. And then, next week we'll all be in Central Florida, sitting on the back porch, swatting mosquitoes while we drink a Coors Light or something.
You have this ability where I feel like everybody that's around you, they just get happy, Cheryl. You're so full of gratitude, and I love the no BS thing about you. Okay, let's play a little game, my friend. Are you ready?
Yeah.
The game's called Let's Get Random. Okay, what's your favorite vice?
Oh, God. Well, it's Nicorette.
The gum?
Yeah. I've never been a smoker and I will never smoke, but for some reason, I'm very drawn to Nicorette.
What? I've never heard anybody that just chews the Nicorette gum.
No, it doesn't make sense. But for some reason, it makes me feel like I'm getting away with something. I'm doing something I should be doing. And I don't know. It's a ridiculous vice that
That's outstanding. In your new show?
In my new show, yes, that's got to be a part of it.
It's got to be. Maybe it's never referenced, right? She just pops the Nicorette gum and
No, but Kit. So when I was on the trail with Bobby, I said, "Can we stop at this drugstore?" And one of the security goes in with me, and I was like, "Ugh, well now he's gonna have to watch me buy Nicorette."
Look over there, Sal. I'm just gonna be nothing to see here.
I just felt the disappointment, but also like, hey, this is between us.
That's great. What is in your bedside drawer?
Ugh. I wish I opened my bedside drawer and it was just like a few meaningful trinkets. But the truth is, there are some weird wires that go to some sort of phones or mechanical devices that I'm sure I need, but I don't know what they go to, but I don't want to throw them away. There's like a facial mask that I always think I'm going to put on, like one of those, that you put on and leave on your face.
Yes.
But that you can only kind of do when no one else is around. I've got one of those. It's probably getting pretty old. And then I have like a lot of half-used, just weird little travel bottles of stuff that I'm like, well, there's still stuff in there. I better keep it.
By the way, my mom steals all of this. So we'll go to a hotel, and let's just say it happens to be a nice hotel. I'll get in the shower and it's empty. She'll steal them while we're still in the room and in a bag. And I'm like, Mom, we can still use them. And then I guarantee you, I'll get you a fresh one to pack your bag with. So like, we'll go in, there'll be no soap, no tiny bottles, nothing. I'm like, Mom, we call her Bug. I'm like, Bug, wait till we leave. I promise you we will get those. Okay, wait, here we go. What do you do to unwind?
I talked to my best friend, Rachel. It's funny because we can talk for hours on the phone.
Love her.
And my niece, Kaylee, is here with me. And Rachel will come over. We'll talk for a long time. She'll leave. And then Rachel will call me 20 minutes later. And Kaylee will say, what?
You just talked.
What do you possibly have to talk about? I was like, oh, nothing and everything.
Isn't that the best? That's why I wanted to start off with the Rachel thing. When you're lucky enough to have those people in your life, that it's just a constant, the conversation never ends. It's just.
No, it never ends.
You
don't have to have anything to say.
No.
And sometimes it's just like, oh, okay, I'm walking in the room. Oh, look at this. Oh, my candle. I still have some candle left on that. That could probably burn for another 2 hours.
At least 3 more hours. Funniest Halloween costume you've ever worn? I feel like you got a good one with this.
I don't know if it was the funniest, but this was the most fun. When I was living in West Hollywood, I was young and single. my friends and I decided to go as Girl Scouts, and we made, you know how you have badges, as a Girl Scout, you have little patches.
Yeah.
So we spent time making up our own patches, and, we had like a heartbreak patch and a tequila shot patch and anything that might be a conversation starter with someone of the opposite sex.
Oh, I like it. Did it work? How did the brownie troop go over?
Oh my God. I met the cutest guy that night. He was so cute. He looked like Robert De Niro, and he did a great Robert De Niro. And that was his costume. He just wore regular clothes. And when you asked him, why didn't he dress up? He'd go, do his De Niro. It was like, oh, I fell in love. Although I had just broken up with this guy that I was really in love with. And the night ended with tears. Me just saying, I just don't know if I'm ready to be even, hanging out with someone new. And he's like, Elby. And I never heard from him again. And that was back in the days of answering machines, when you're
the best.
You, and then I would call and I would, hey, it's Cheryl. I know things got off track the other night, but I really listen. I'm over whatever we were talking about.
Forget those tears. That was not a thing.
I never heard back. Yeah, and it's like at some point I stopped leaving messages. It's like, okay, come on.
The worst is you can't edit it, right? I mean, there's been once you're leaving that message and you're in it, you're like, I got to wrap it up. And then you keep going. Oh my God. Weirdest thing in your purse right now?
Besides the knicker wrap?
You're right. I don't think you can top that one. I think that might be that.
The weirdest thing in my purse. I mean, I don't go anywhere without a toothbrush.
In your purse?
Yes.
With toothpaste or just the toothbrush?
No, I have toothpaste too.
Do you have the little pick things that a lot of them
I do.
Oh, yeah.
I have those too. You
have very nice teeth. Have you always been into your teeth? I'm being very serious.
Yeah. Yes, because my teeth are so big. I have no choice but I better really take care of them, because that's one of the first things that people notice about me. And I'm just like, okay, I guess this is what I need to do.
Okay, fill in this blank. Aging is what?
Oh, aging is a combination of being solid in knowing who you are and why you're here, and being surprised that it takes you longer to get up out of a chair. All the little things that you took for granted, where you're like, oh, okay, right, because you're not 30. So it's like, and that's okay, you know? It's totally okay. And it's also, it's nice to know what to worry about and what not to worry about.
Goes back to what you were saying about letting things go. Age is a gift. It's going to happen to all of us if we're lucky to have it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always say I want to come like sliding into home base, a little banged up, but a big old smile on my face. Just do the best I can.
Yeah.
I don't know why I just went all Southern for you right there, Cheryl.
You did get Southern.
The Georgia in me came out. My wisdom.
My wisdom's all over the place.
Oh, well, I am so happy you spent the morning with us. We end everything in the coop, Cheryl, with what makes you happy?
The people I surround myself with make me happy. And I'm very particular about who I surround myself with. But when I can stop myself in the middle of the day and say, I don't want to be anywhere else right now with anyone else, I know that I'm happy.
It goes back to your Renaissance moment where you are. If you've got that, Cheryl, you've got everything.
We'll see.
We'll see.
One day at a time, kid.
Well, Cheryl, I just adore you. I'm so happy that we're friends, and I'd love any time we get to hang together. So thank you so much with everything you've got going on for taking time to come on the Coop.
Thank you, Kit. I loved it. I love you.
I love you. And by the way, I might try a little Nicorette gum. I'll text you how it goes.
Yeah, please do. You've got to text me. Okay. All right. Thanks, Kit.
Thanks, sweets. Okay, have a great day.
Bye, guys.
Oh my goodness, how much do I love Cheryl Hines? I want to bring my producer, Harper McDonald, in here. What did you think? We were so excited about this interview.
She's so thoughtful
with every question.
She thinks so deeply about everything you asked and then gets just loosey-loose at the end. She is hilarious.
What about her word? Renaissance.
Oh, it's perfect. She talked about the three elements of her life that are changing with her daughter in college and Curb ending and obviously the trail.
The trail. How neat that she wasn't
number two on
guarded. Number two, her nickname.
I love that.
But you and I were talking before we started this, like we're such a fan of hers and what a moment in her life. And the fact, first of all, that she would come on with us and the way she's so present with everybody, I think is so cool with her daughter, with her friends, with her career, with her husband. What about her relationship? How great it is with her first husband. That was so inspiring.
It felt like that was the thing that propelled her to be able to go be everything she's been able to do and now become. Like giving her the license to, you can do this, you should do this. And she wouldn't even think about that for herself.
And they didn't take off the rings until they did it together.
Yeah, that was really incredible. I've never heard that before.
I've never heard that before.
Mutual respect, which carried forward for their for their modern blended family on Veep. I can't wait for her show.
The new show. Guys, do you pick that up when she teased that? This is going to be incredible.
Her taking note, it's going to be unbelievable. Larry David's for sure going to have a cameo.
Larry David has to maybe continue to be, maybe he's the one on the campaign trail. Maybe he's the Bobby. I loved every part of this. Harper and I are now going to go get a giant pack of Nicorette gum.
Oh my God, I've never tried it. Have you?
No.
I don't even know what that would do to me.
Do you have to like go behind the counter to get it or is it just in the aisle?
No, I think you've got to get the guy. It's like lottery tickets and Nicorette. You got to ask the guy and you got to show your ID.
Oh, our afternoon is shaping up nicely. By the way, this is the first Coop podcast we did in the morning when I've had my coffee. How would you rate me, Harper?
Girl, you are on in the morning. It is, it's working for you. It's working for you. And also the one thing that we didn't get to talk too much about is Hines and Young, the incredible company that she's built with her daughter.
Her daughter.
Yeah. So we'll promote all that in the show notes and make sure you guys know where to find their stuff.
Check that down. And Harper and I love that because Harper's daughter and my daughters, it's kind of a dream to be able to do something with them when you think. And so the fact that she's doing it is quite awesome.
It's beautiful.
All right. I hope y'all like that. Have a great rest of your day. And thanks again, Cheryl. Boy, do we love you. Mwah. Thank you for joining us, my chickens. If you like this episode, please give us a 5-star rating, drop in a great review, and tag us at The Coop with Kit Hoover. As well, you can follow us on social media at The Coop with Kit Hoover for behind-the-scenes content and updates. We will see you next time in The Coop. And remember, as my mom Bug always says, life is not a dress rehearsal. Make it count. Today's episode was produced by me, Kit Hoover, and Harper McDonald. Our technical producer is Christian Brown, and today's episode was edited by Christian Brown. Business development by Casey Ladd, and a special thank you to all of our sponsors.